I'm going to share with you my top 10 secrets to SharePoint design, including how you can shape images, build out timelines, tell you how you can achieve this glassmorphism effect on your web parts, show you a bunch of fantastic examples of intranet homepages and designs. We're also going to be talking about how SharePoint is natively responsive and how you can easily check what your SharePoint site will look like on a mobile phone or tablet device. Now at number one, the first feature that I think you really need to understand to get a very successful SharePoint design is the top navigation bar. Now this is often referred to as a mega menu because you can have multiple layers of drop downs within it. So you can see here on this design, we have our navigation bar across the top. Now we've got these drop downs, and actually inside of SharePoint, you can have up to 3 layers. The very top layer, think of that as like the top category, and that's typically where you would have things like what we can see on screen, like this who we are, what's happening, find it, for example. And then underneath that, you would have a secondary layer, and this is almost like the subtopic of what would be displayed on the screen. So for example, under who we are, we've got information about our company, our people, our values, and careers-based information. And then underneath that, we actually have the third layer, which is typically the linked layer. So this is where you actually provide your links. And within reason, you can link to anything you like. It doesn't have to be SharePoint. Obviously, it could be a SharePoint site, a set of documents or folders, or an individual document or page in SharePoint. But as long as it's got a hyperlink, you could link to anything you like just by grabbing the URL and pasting it into the navigation configuration bar. But as you can see, we can have multiple layers displayed like this, and again we can have multiple different areas of our navigation bar dropping down. The other cool feature about the navigation bar is you can use what they call audience targeting, which basically means that you can group different people and then show and hide links based on that grouping. So let's say, for example, we could group by who is a manager, and then we could have links which only managers see, often referred to as a manager's toolkit. So only managers would see information on, say, hiring, firing, disciplinaries, things like that, stuff that not every employee would need to see. But again, you could use this grouping for all sorts of different things. You could use it based on department, so different departments, when they log in, they see different links. You could base it on physical location, so you might have different offices or different countries around the world where your employees are, and they might want to see different links. So again, you could audience target it so they only see the links that are relevant to them. When it comes to the design though, it's pretty sort of basic inside of SharePoint. They're all going to look quite similar. However, something I've been playing with recently is a third-party product called Origami, which essentially is a pack of designs that you can preload into your SharePoint. And that gives a totally different look and feel to that navigation bar. So here's an example of the Origami design. I really love the fact that this navigation bar is basically subtly overlaid over a nice image. So it's giving us a good feel for what this intranet is already about. Again, when we hover over, you can see we do have a drop down, and this time we've actually got a mega menu which is stacked on top of each other. So you can see when we click on the little arrow here, we see that underneath benefits, we've got dental, vision, and fitness. Here's a second example of an Origami intranet homepage, and this is where we've got the navigation bar across the top again, and you can see it's nicely placed over the top of this image, which sits really well. And as we scroll down, you can see we've got a nice sticky header across the top, which stays really large and prominent even when we're scrolling down the page. So I really like Origami's design. I think it takes the default SharePoint navigation functionality, but it really emphasizes the design components and makes it look so much better. At number 2, the second secret to SharePoint design is actually using different sections of the page. Now, what I mean by this is we can have multiple different areas of content, and even having a kind of secondary content area by having a bar on the right-hand side. So let's take a look. So on this example, you can see we've got a couple of different sections to our page. We've got this left-hand section, which is taking up 2/3 of the page. And we also have this section on the right-hand side, this third width section on the right. And this is perfect if you're wanting to combine maybe something like a scroller or some news on the left-hand side with some secondary content, some useful links which are being placed right on the top. So even when you first load into this page, you're seeing some content, some news, and you're also seeing a navigation links, because every intranet, you're trying to balance between having communication, so news, announcements, events, and navigation. So having this type of layout makes it really easy for people to have the best of both worlds, the announcements, the news, and some of the navigation available at the top of the page before you've even scrolled down. So taking a look at this full design, you can see we've got useful links on the right hand side, but we also have world clocks. You could also have local weather or events or any other type of SharePoint web part placed in that area. But it's essentially your secondary content zone away from your main primary content. And number 3, that secret is all about the use of colors inside of your SharePoint. Now, I see so many people that don't even bother to change the theme within SharePoint, and they're just using the standard colors, and it just looks awful. Or if they do change it, they're using one of the default colors, and again, it's just not looking very good. Also, what I often see people doing, even when they choose to use their own colors, is they're using kind of very light themes. So something which can be very visually appealing and stand out to a user is to use more dark colors with maybe even bright accent colors overlaying it. So here we've got an example of this where we've got a very dark background color using almost like a navy, but you'll notice we're using this kind of hot pink reddish color as an accent color, which really pops off the page. And especially with like the navigation, we can see the little lines underneath it to show which page we're on. And as we hover over other links, you can see they're turning that pink color as well. You can also see all the other system type of buttons, like the add button here for news, or see all buttons, or the republish button. They are all using that branded bright red color as well. Further down, you can see I'm also using the quick links web part and using very thin outline border of that red color, which again really pops off the page. And you can even change the footer color as well. So the footer color could be using that accent color as well to really make it stand out off the page. Now, my 4th secret to SharePoint design is to have some form of motion. So you can see on this design here, we have a slider across the top, which is displaying news items, but it could also just be quick links, but it's got that subtle motion to it. I can also choose if I wanted to pause it, if I didn't want it to move around. So as an end user, if I actually thought, oh, wait, hang on, I want to go back and see what that said on a previous slide, I can also use this as well to control the navigation of this slider. Number 5, we have the glass effect. Now, this is often referred to as glassmorphism. People think, well, what is that? Now, it's a very modern trend which you see a lot in public-facing websites that look really good. Now, this SharePoint design secret is realistically only able to be achieved if you're using a third-party plugin like Origami Connect. Glassmorphism is where you can see we've got this glass type pane overlaying an image, and you can subtly see that image through the background. So these are just some examples of what glassmorphism looks like and how it works in reality. Now, this glass effect is very difficult to achieve just using native SharePoint. So again, I'm going to show you an example from Origami Connect, who have this basically ready to go to install into your SharePoint intranet. Now, this is one of my favorite designs. I love this. You can see we've got this glass effect as a very large tile in the middle of the screen, which actually has a few different components to it. We have some nice navigation buttons, which again, when you hover over them, have got a really nice feel. We've got this news item, which is pulled through. So maybe an item about a new employee handbook is now ready. And we've also got some secondary news items over here as well, which we can scroll through using this button. As I say, that's only available using Origami Connect as a plugin to SharePoint. So if you want more information about that product, there's a link in the description below. At number 6, we've got the use of shapes. Here's a really quick example of a meet the team type of page. So this might not necessarily be the home page of your intranet. It might just be a page that someone's navigated to from the intranet. Now you can see we're using shapes in a number of different places. We've got these lovely teardrop type shapes, which are basically showing different visuals which match the brand of this particular green company. Further down, we've got some other images, and these are just using square based shapes. But we can also use other shapes, things like circles, triangles, hexagons. There's all sorts of different types of imagery layout that we can use. And it's actually really simple to achieve this look. You don't have to shape the image externally to SharePoint, which often used to require a graphic designer to do. Now you can actually just upload a normal image and actually apply a shape effect to that image. So let's take a look at how you achieve that. So it's actually really easy to add an image and then transform it with a shape. All we need to do is click on the edit button across the top of the screen and then find where we want to add in the image. So let's say, for example, if I wanted to add a brand new section, I could add a new section to here and then add a web part to add in my image. So all I need to do is look for the image web part, and then I can either upload an image from my SharePoint site from my own computer, or I can use Microsoft's stock image library as well. So let's say, for example, I'm looking for an image of a tree. I can search in here, find a nice image of a tree, select it, and that's then going to add the image to the page. Now I can select the image and even select a shape. So as I say, we could make it into a circle if we wanted to. We could make it into a triangle. There's a whole host of different shapes that we could choose to put this into, and then we could easily just choose to shrink this down to make it fit the size and the shape of the page that we want. So let's say, for example, if we wanted to add this to this area up here, all we need to do is select on the web part and drag it up into this particular area. So, whoops, I've dragged it too far. All I need to do, select it, drag it and drop it into my web part area here. So you can see I'm using a flexi layout. So all I need to do is just move this text like this. And there we go. Click on republish. And there is my new pebble shaped image on my SharePoint page. And number 7, the secret to SharePoint design is often using alternating content. So on this SharePoint design, you can see at the top, I'm using an image. I've got some quick link buttons, and we've got some news for all news, volunteer news, and even region-based news. But as I scroll down even further, this is where you can see our hero web part comes into play. Now, a lot of people think that hero web parts are just the large square tiles at the top, but we can actually configure them so that they can be layered like this with an image on the left, text on the right, image on the right, text on the left, and so forth, just to have that nice stacked approach. And it's really visually appealing. It's really easy on the eye to consume that information. And we can change a couple of different things. So we can add these labels across the top. We can change the title as well as the text which sits on the page as well. You've also got the option of having a slightly different link. So this whole tile can be a link, but also this learn more option here can be a link that can be easily changed as well. As I say, if you need help getting your SharePoint set up, there's a link in the description below to contact me for professional help getting set up. At number 8, the secret to a fantastic design often is how news is displayed and consumed by your end users. So rather than just having one news feed, you could break this out into multiple different types of categories. Here's a very simple design. So for example, these are actually 3 different news feeds. We have Toolbox Talks. So for a construction company, it's important they have safety briefings, and these are all their own separate news items. We have the whole company news. So this is for everyone to consume. And we also have employee of the month. So these are actually news items for each of the employees of the month. And when you click through to them, it opens up the full news item to tell you more about that person. Organizations that have a lot of news or different types of categories, you could even create a news hub, a little page which actually has multiple different news feeds being pulled up onto it. So you could have a scroller, like a slideshow for news for everybody, which is very large and obvious. We then have some recommended news. So this could be news which is based on that user's activity, what different SharePoint sites they've been going to. It could be based on department. So this is where we could use that audience targeting again to know, well, what department am I part of and what news will I want to see based on that. Or country. So based on what country I'm in, I'll see different types of news. Maybe there's some CEO updates. So some recent messages from our CEO updating us on things like quarterly revenue targets, new company benefits, things like that. As well as that, maybe some industry-based news. So these could not only be news articles which are created in SharePoint, but we could also link out to other third-party news websites as well. At number 9, one of the secrets to a good SharePoint design is making sure that it works and looks great on any device that an end user chooses to use. Now, often a lot of intranets are used on desktop devices, but that's what everyone usually just thinks and designs for. But did you know know that SharePoint is actually natively responsive, meaning that it will work automatically on mobile devices and iPads. However, it will change the design. Because it's responsive, it will change the look and feel. So let's take a look at how you can look at this and ensure that you know what it will look like on a mobile device as you're designing the SharePoint site. So back to this example here, you can see we have a large image across the top, we have some buttons, we have some news, and we also have these stacked tiles on top of each other. And at the very bottom, we have a couple of other web parts like events, but also some call to action type buttons as well. Now, if we wanted to view this on a mobile device quickly, the easiest way to do this is actually if you right click on the screen, you're then going to pop out, and at the very bottom, it'll say inspect. Now, this will put it into developer mode. Now, if it doesn't automatically go into mobile view, you'll see at the very top up here, you have the option to toggle device. By selecting that, you can actually even choose different sizes as well of device. So if you knew that they're using a certain type of iPhone, you can select it to that. Or you can set the width and size dimensions using these pickers here. Now, I can now see what my SharePoint site will look like on a mobile device. You can see my image now is more of a square shape. I can see my quick links here. I can also see what my news is going to look like. So rather than being 3 columns, they're now nicely stacked on top of each other. Instead of those tiles, it's now been replaced as a little slideshow scroller automatically. My event tiles are much smaller, and my call to actions have been stacked on top of each other as well. So this is a really fantastic way of seeing what your SharePoint site is going to look like on multiple different devices. And the 10th and final tip for secret SharePoint design is to use some stats, figures, or even timelines that will be of interest to your employees. So let's take a look at that. So in this design here, you can see we've got some highlights of a recent marketing campaign, but this could be anything. It could be quarterly sales figures or customer satisfaction figures, things that people often want to see how the company's getting on. And this can be really easy to achieve just with some simple text and a divider web part. We can achieve this. We can also see some timelines. So maybe it's a timeline of what's going on or launch of something new at the organization, or even just a timeline of where the company's been, when was it started, and sort of key points along the growth journey. So this is really easy to edit. So if I just scroll down a little bit, you'll see I've got this section here. Now, this is actually a flexible section, meaning I can drag and drop different components throughout this area. So if I was to select an item here, you can see I can move this around wherever I want it to go. So I can get it to sit up here. Now, this is a text box and it's got an image within it as well. And that image can easily be moved. Now, I'm actually just going to click on undo because I wanted to go back to where it was. But you can see this is just simply a set of, this is an image, these are images, and this is text. And we're using it in a flexi section, which means we can drag and drop it wherever we like. And then by clicking on republish, it will then publish and it looks like a fantastic timeline. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, check out the video that's on screen now, as I think you'll find it very valuable. If you've got any questions at all, use the comments box below. Please do subscribe to ensure that you see more fantastic SharePoint design content.